Good morning, greetings and salutations. It is I, Johnny, and this is the Who the Heaven Is I podcast. I've actually recorded a couple episodes, but haven't posted in a couple days. One of those episodes was shot in video, and I had to convert the whole thing over. Um, and then two of the other ones, I know I said I would never edit episodes, but Um, the episodes got a little bit, well, let's just say that the episodes weren't as polished as I would like them to be. And granted, the idea of doing this is just to kind of get things off the top of my head out into the universe. Generally, when I just woke up, like today, but I started losing the formula. So that's why I'm going back to the formula today. And this will not be edited. This is just going to be, hey, how you doing? And dropped right out there and so on and so forth. Um, so I might jump around and get all George Lucasan. Yeah, how do you say that? George Lucasian. Yeah, like where episode 3 comes before episode 4 comes before episode 1, 2, and 3. And just bounce back and forth. But I think for the most part, it's just important about just being real. And as you hear my voice today, I am a little tired. I've been getting a little more sleep and doing a little more self care lately. So that's the one thing that I will say has been a positive over the past couple of days. With the exception of last night, I didn't drift swiftly to sleep last night, and I woke up quite swiftly this morning. So it's another day. Seizing the day. What does it mean to seize the day? Like, all of a sudden at 12 o'clock, you get a news report. A comet is coming and is going to destroy planet Earth. Like, what do you do? Like, if you had like 12 hours left to live, like, is that how you wake up every day and say, "Hey, what if today's my last day? Let me seize it before it's gone." I know I don't personally do that all the time. Today I'm going to because I feel like I need a spark. I need a spark. I need something to kind of shift. And sometimes I found in life, I mean myself included, it's easy to gravitate towards comfort and and the the lulls of life, get home from work, kick your shoes off, grab a beverage, sink into the sofa, and just feel the couch hug you. Um, you know, that was one point, in my life, a little bit of my routine. But now, it's almost like, not that I seek out being uncomfortable, but I most definitely have become comfortable with the uncomfortable because I know that when things are being challenged and where I'm breaking out of routines per se to continue to really to level myself up because I find that if I stay stagnant and just too cyclical into routines for too long of a period, complacency sits in, and there's no growth and no progress. Not that you constantly need to be growing and progressing, but the way this world works is it doesn't stop. You've always got. I find that I've always got to learn new things, which I'm cool with. There are some things that you shouldn't have to keep on relearning, and that is not a good feeling. But other things, you know, can be good. Things you shouldn't have to relearn. Like once you figure out how to work your computer or smartphone, I mean, they update the software so much. It's like every 6 to 9 months, you're to a year, whatever, 6 months to a year. You're constantly have to refocus and relearn new things. And I've said it before on this podcast. That's obsoleting humanity, especially the senior citizen demographic, because they don't evolve and learn at a certain point the same way we do. Um, and especially when it's a communication device, it's it's detrimental to society because then they can't communicate and express themselves, and then we're losing part of our foundation of society. That the information has to transfer, and that's something that I find to be extremely important in society. One would think that the technology should be making life easier to communicate, more freer to communicate, but quite frankly, at this level, at this juncture, it seems to be more difficult to communicate. Um, you know, what platform are you on? Oh, send me the message on Instagram. No, I'm on Snapchat. No, I'm on TikTok. No, I'm on X. Um, so there's multiple levels of disintegration of connection, and I think if we do not make a change, then for sure it could be problematic, especially in emergency situations. And I mean, the one thing that I've been really focusing on is, how to keep it easy peasy when it's stormy, not just cool and breezy. And, you know, um, my meditation practice and just spending time by myself and really getting to the root of the problem allows me a lot of the time to find that inner peace. It's something that people say, oh, find your inner peace, find your inner peace. And for years I didn't know what the heck that meant. A lot of it is just silencing the noise in my head. We are our own worst critic, but to be honest with you, everyone's also their own worst critic. And what happens is we think people are a lot of times thinking about us and doing all this other stuff, when most likely they're probably going through the same thing that we're going through, thinking about what's going on in their head, overthinking. And so, like, why bother? Like, just let it be. Be the best version of yourself, and everything will fall into place. And when I do that, things do. Like, last week was a super serendipitous week where just people just started just showing up into my life. And I was really, really, really focused on my work. And, the more that I just didn't think about the things that usually get in my head and start stressing me out, like most people, like, oh my gosh, I gotta make money. But if I just chased the money, which I was doing, the money wasn't coming. But then when I just kind of focused on the work that needed to be doing, the work that needed to be done, things just kind of flowed to me. People that I didn't expect to need service from me would call me up and say, hey, I need some help. I had, some clients that take care of me better than I expected for them. They pay me extra. It's like that's a really nice thing. And those are the good eggs. Then there's other people that will constantly try to make me feel bad and make me feel like I'm not worthy. And then I had to take a step back and go, who are those people? Like, why are they doing this to me? Do I need to have them so close in my life if they're supposed to be my supporters, but A, they haven't succeeded at what I'm trying to succeed yet? They're giving me advice, and that can be a recipe for disaster because it's that comfort thing, right? Like, you've been friends for X amount of years, and you expect them to get your back. But if they're comparing you to the old you, and the new you wants to come out, and then they put their own filters on, like your actions and behaviors based upon their life choices, recipe for disaster. Now, if the person has been successful in what you tried to succeed in, then there may be an abundance of relevancy to the wisdom they're wishing to impart onto you. Um, but in my experience, I mean, there's several people in my life that um, that even though I've explained to them kind of my vision of what I'm working on, they try to retract my vision, and that to me is not healthy. Like um, it's one thing to give advice and to give insight, but when people start using the words "you have to," "you need to," or "that will never work," well, I I don't always agree with that. I think anything can work if you find the right way to make it work. Um, and in my experience, a lot of people live in the safe, comfortable, negative realm of what only their eyes and ears and history has told them, which doesn't allow for growth. Because if we just stay back in the realm of what we know, we wouldn't be where we are today. Someone has to take that bold step where no man has gone before, or woman, or person, or being, and just really go outside the box and say, hey, I'm checking out of the Hotel California. Why am I living in a hotel? At least I want to upgrade to a condo, but a house with a nice backyard would be great. So I think I'm beyond that stage of the Hotel California. Like, I'm not going to sit there and complain. I mean, it was what it was. Hotel California, was fun. You did your thing, but there comes a point where, yeah, this isn't working for me anymore. And I believe in this great country in which we live that you don't have to be married to anything, literally or figuratively, if it's not working. There's legal processes that allow you to liberate yourself. That also being said, I think people sometimes liberate themselves from the literal marriages too quickly because grass ain't always greener. And in my own personal experience, I've seen, couples go through stuff. And it's the couples that are aligned on multiple fronts, not just romantically, but spiritually, financially, ethically. They can weather the storm. But those that are not united and don't have a mutual respect and an affinity of love for each other, those are the ships that end up sinking, or there's mutiny on the Bounty. And it's not pretty because, especially when there's kids involved, those types of breakups are extremely difficult. They can derail a person's life. Hey, I feel like my life's been derailed. Now, I can't put all the blame on the other party. And I think anyone that does shows you that they don't understand that marriage is between two people, not just one person. So, it's not fun, it's not easy. But I do my best to peacefully go through this thing that we're going through. And it is very challenging at times, especially when the other party doesn't want to have a discussion and it becomes very one-sided. I I have to do better at stepping back during those moments because it becomes one of those things where we don't make progress. And right now, We're like in third gear. We're just got enough speed. We're cruising down the road. We can't shift out of third gear. And we should be easily cruising on the highway in fifth. But we're not. Whatever the destination be at this juncture, I mean, it's one of those things where it's uneasy for all passengers involved. That being said, the passengers of my podcast are like, yo, where are we at? Where's the humor today? And I'll say, well, sorry, you can't look at me because as I look in the mirror, I can't stop laughing. I have a hat. It's like that emoji hat with the person like, LOL, the tears out of their face. It's a big, bright yellow hat I put on sometimes. And I think sometimes when people see me in that hat, they think I'm laughing at them. And while they may be funny, I find that my life, and my humor is far more reason to have that hat on. Because if I can't laugh at myself, then how can I laugh at anything else? Because, I mean, come on, like, we go through stuff, and if you take life too seriously, that's where I think stressors kick in. And I'm at a point where, Alfred E. Newman, what, me worry? What? Me worry? Come on. Because if I haven't recognized, I'm starting to recognize now that things are starting to fall in place when I just let go and don't worry about things and then just do my best to keep a positive attitude. That's the real magic and mysteriosa of this realm. So, I got a question for you all today because and there's a Stone Temple Pilots song called "The Art of Letting Go." So, as we come to the end of this episode, the one thing that I have come to understand is you can't grow unless you learn to let go. Just like the roots are all underground at one point when you plant that seed, right? And it's probably pretty comfortable being there in the dark and you can sleep, and you're just covered up and it rains, you get your nutrients and the roots are really good. But at some point, you got to break on through to the other side and let go of just being a dirt dweller underground. So I guess the question of the day is, what has been the hardest what have been the hardest and or easiest things for you to let go of in life? And the poll question will be, dun dun dun, do you find yourself holding on to things too long? And it's going to be all about the art of letting go. And I think and find that the more I practice that, I get into a better flow with the universe. So there's that. And this has been the episode of Who the Heaven Is I? I think technically this is episode 37. I don't even know. And I'm going to see if I get to bed earlier tomorrow. I'm going to do that maybe for a week and just kind of focus on sleep patterns because my body is all over the place. That being said, I appreciate you listening. And if you've got any feedback for me, I want to answer the poll question of the day. What have been the hardest and easiest things for you to let go of in life? And do you find that you hold on to things too long? Is the poll question. You can always call the cool line. It's 650-383-7469. And if you're on the iOS devices or the Android, I believe there's inside Spotify the way to answer those questions. Although, I don't know. The other day I saw something on the computer and I thought you could go right there on the computer and see it, and it wasn't there. So Spotify isn't always as clear as it can be, but it's still a very good platform to make these podcasts, and I am very appreciative of their amazing service. Um, so that being said, I am going to finish this up and upload it. So if you're listening to this, I've had a successful morning so far. How about you? Thanks for listening. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. And remember, you are the light, and the darkness is just your hands over your eyes. Let your hands go and feel the flow. Peace and power to your dreams. Bye bye.